welcome back to my channel. You all really liked my video that I done about Bella Goth and the entire life and death of her, and I got a lot of comments asking me to do the Landgrab family because a lot of you want to know about them. So that's what I've done, and I think it's going to be a long one because I'm not just focusing on one person from the Landgrabs. I'm focusing on the Landgrabs as a whole throughout all of the Sims versions. I am going to strictly stay on the PC versions, not the console ones, because the console versions always tend to just differ away from the story slightly. I'm just going in a chronological order throughout all of the PC versions of the game. So let's just start. So the Landgrabs are referenced various times throughout the full series, but there's also many different documentations of how they got the money. It's not fully understood. Obviously it's within the name Landgrab, the word land. Obviously they get the money from land, it's what they're known for. But they also don't have the best reputation. They're known for being quite evil, and again, referencing the name, this isn't necessarily a hidden fact. The name is Landgrab, which literally means taking land through an opportunistic or unlawful manner. So they're not good people. Usually. They don't really have the best reputation within the Sims franchise. Starting off, we're going to be talking about The Sims Medieval, which is a game I've actually never played. I did have the disc and I did try to install it, but Origin just wasn't working. So I've never been able to play The Sims Medieval, try though I might. But the first reference there is a family with the last name Landgrab called Demetrius and Dacian. I have a really bad time pronouncing names anyway. So it could be like Dacian, I don't know. Anyway, Demetrius and D. That's what we'll go with. The father and son, and they own the city. There's two cities and they own one of them. And they're actually at war with the neighbouring city. Probably over land. I think it was over land. So even from here, at this very early time of The Sims Medieval, which is centuries and centuries ago, they're already known for like owning a lot of the place and fighting over land at this early time. So that is the first reference that we have to the Landgrab family. Then moving on to SimCity 3000, which is released in 1999, I think, and then The Sims 1 is released in The Sims 2000. Been a long day. The Sims 1 was released in 2000. So in SimCity 3000, we can actually see the word Landgrab on some of the buildings. And just reference that the wealth was made from the property / real estate business, which we can kind of guess. We know it's in land, we know it's in property, but it's more associated with residential property in SimCity 3000, where in the other versions of the game, they're more known for the commercial lot. So that's the second time that we get met with them. And then in The Sims 1, we meet them again, and they're not a playable family or anything like that, which is weird because they are one of the oldest families. But I don't think you can get to play them in The Sims. I'm pretty sure you can't. But they are referenced. So, in The Sims on Vacation, did anyone else play with that pack? Because what a great pack. I really enjoyed that. But in The Sims on Vacation, well, we called it The Sims on Holiday. That's what it was in England, but it's Sims Vacation in America. Admiral Landgrab, that's the name that comes up. The national park on one of the vacation islands is referred to as his first colonial acquisitions. So colonial, obviously, like going way back here with the Landgrabs. And an Admiral Landgrab Nutcracker can be bought, and some of the items also refer to him as well, and his portrait can be found in buy mode. So already we have a pretty established family here. Not playable as of yet, apart from in The Sims Medieval, but still pretty well established as a wealthy family. Then we move on in the timeline to The Sims 3. It goes The Sims 1, The Sims 3, The Sims 2, and then The Sims 4 is an alternate timeline. So in The Sims 3, they're living in Sunset Valley. They live in a massive mansion and they're very wealthy. There's Nancy, Jeffrey, and Landgrab. Nancy is in the Landgrab line, Jeffrey isn't. She was born from Chester and Queenie Landgrab. Chester died of old age, but Queenie actually died quite young. She died in a fire when she was very young, which is kind of sad, but you can see them both bopping about in the Pleasant Rest graveyard. So they are still there, but they are seen as ghosts. Just want to say that the Landgrab family tree is very confusing, so I will be putting a picture up on the screen every now and again, not just randomly, but when it's relevant, because there's a lot of repeated names as well. So if I say the word Malcolm, you're not going to know who I'm on about in like 5 minutes time, so I will put a family tree on the screen and circle who I'm on about. So yeah, there's Chester and Queenie, who are dead, but they are still present in the graveyard. Then that leaves Nancy, Jeffrey, and Malcolm. Like I said, Jeffrey isn't a Landgrab, Nancy is, but Jeffrey took Nancy's name because, I mean, it sounds cute, but like it's because of the status associated with the Landgrab name. So that's why Jeffrey took her name. And Nancy is actually the vice president of the business district. She's a very strong, career-willed, is that what even, I don't know. Anyway, but she's very strong. She's got her head on her shoulders. She's very, very focused on her business. Busy quite a lot of the time. And the son, Malcolm, because Nancy is the vice president of this district, she does spend long hours doing work and stuff like that. So she doesn't get the time that she really wants to spend with Malcolm. So as a result, Malcolm is closer to his father than he is to his mother. Nancy kind of wants to raise him in the Landgrab way, but she doesn't necessarily get the time to do that. So instead of wanting to become this big business director who's in charge of loads of land, Malcolm actually dreams of being a doctor like his father, because Geoffrey is also a doctor. What's weird is that in their family bio, it states that they founded the town. In the Sunset Valley's bio, it says that the Goths actually founded the town and the Landgrabs built it up. So that's a little bit sketchy. The Landgrab family are sketchy anyway, so whether they're just saying that they founded the town when really all they've done was build a lot of lots on it, who is to know? And there is also references to a Magnus Landgrab. In the level 10 of the criminal career with the thief branch, you do get an event that can be triggered which mentions Magnus, which is pretty cool. Your sim was scooping out another job when he noticed that Malcolm Landgrab was getting delivery of expensive solid platinum induction coils, whatever they are, for some nefarious purpose. Using their incredible skills, they have managed to snag one of these coils for free money. Magnus will never notice, especially since his plans never work anyways. So here it's kind of referencing to this Magnus person, and it's basically stating that he's not that much of a good character. You know, nefarious purpose for these solid platinum induction coils. Like, you know, a little bit sketchy, which is a recurring theme throughout this family. And Magnus is also referenced again in the level 10 of the law enforcement career, again with another little event pop up, saying that Magnus Landgrab attempted to take over a small nation today. That is not like the Landgrabs at all. Did not see that one coming. But the cunning and intelligence of your sim helped foil this grand scheme. So we've got some kind of criminal things going on here. Not very good character, this Magnus. Not good at all. And in the Simcity World Adventures, the Landgrab family again are referenced with, I'm very sorry, I've never been able to speak French, so I'm going to butcher this name. The Chateau du Landgrab in Champs Les Sims. You know what I'm on about, basically. But we see a return from The Sims 1. So Admiral Landgrab, who we referenced in The Sims 1, who was seen in the vacation world, he's referenced there. He's also referenced in this place as well. He owns the big Chateau du Landgrab, the big massive mansion. And it hints that he had a family as well, which wasn't really spoke about in The Sims. You couldn't really tell, you know, what kind of life he led other than a rich one, basically. But there is references that he had a family because, you know, there's nurseries in here. In this big massive mansion, there's a room with 2 single beds, so it hints that he had a family and a kids, which is nice. It's good on him for settling down and starting a family instead of his colonial escapades, because colonial escapades, honestly, they never really work out too well, do they? But also, this place has many traps, so it kind of indicates that he was a little bit paranoid, worried that someone was going to steal his fortune, which you would be, to be honest, if you were that rich. I'd probably have traps. And then from this timeline, we move on into the Sims 2 timeline. In the first expansion pack, The Sims 2 University, a dorm at the Sim State University is called the Landgraf House, which stuff like this is just pretty cool. I really like the little references that are randomly shot about throughout the Sims games. I hook onto them and I'm like, yes, we need that level of story. But yeah, and there is also a secret society as well called the Landgraf Society. And this place of the secret meetings and this, you know, the secret societies, I only ever joined once, and that was through a cheat. I could never get into these secret societies in The Sims 2. But it is hosted at a big, massive mansion, which, to be honest, is just completely, totally typical of the Landgrab family, isn't it? And you can kind of see from this that the Landgrabs have influence everywhere. They're just always about, they're everywhere. Even in The Sims 1, and they weren't even a playable family. And then if you have seasons installed, a chance card comes up for the adventurer career, which references Gregory Landgrab. He is a humble school teacher, and it says that he came into money. Doesn't really say how he came into money, but it says from that money he became one of the wealthiest landowners around. So there is kind of a mystery surrounding that as well, because the chance card kind of suggests foul play, but also he could have been a long lost relative from the times of The Sims Medieval, because, you know, if that family's from that long ago, there's going to be some kind of distant relative, so he could have came into the fortune. But there is also some suggested foul play with the full Landgrab family, so whether he's just followed in their footsteps and just robbed this money, we're not to know. We can't find that out from a chance card. And with Blue Water Village that came with The Sims 2 Open Business, we are introduced to another Malcolm Landgrab, which is not to be confused with the Malcolm Landgrab in The Sims 3. It is a different Malcolm Landgrab with different parents and grandparents. So I'm talking about this Malcolm Landgrab, not that Malcolm Landgrab that we met in The Sims 3. But he is introduced as a bachelor. He lives in a big, massive mansion. His name does come up a lot. He's got the same name as his dad, his granddad, his great-granddad. But it's kind of sad as well, because his parents, Malcolm and Marion, actually died when he was really, really young, which is quite sad, you know. There's been a couple of young deaths in the Landgrab family. But Again, with the whole land grabbing thing, he does own 2 commercial places. He owns Club Dante and the Electronic Super Centre. So this kind of follows with the trend so far of commercial lots. And also another fun fact about this Malcolm Landgrab in The Sims 2 Open for Business is that when you first go into the house and play him, he gets bills which amount up to £666. 666 simoleons, not pounds, sorry. I'm just your typical English person who thinks everything revolves around the United Kingdom. Which, you know, like, that is a sign of the devil, which references the fact that the Landgrabs are known to be quite evil. Because I've said in the last video with Balagoth as well, the timelines can get quite confusing because The Sims 3 is set in the past, but The Sims 3 towns are on their own timeline as well. So now we're jumping back into The Sims 3 with the expansion pack into the future with Oasis Landing. We get introduced with the Landgrab family, and their family bio states that a real estate boom has caused the Landgrabs to relocate to get in on the action. With time, the Landgrabs will literally own the town, which, how weird, like... They don't change though, they're always the same. And this household consists of Gregory, which is another name that keeps coming up within the Landgrab family, Cheryl, Timothy, Lara and the Plumbot. So that is basically all about them land grabbing again. It's what they do and what they do best. And then we are also introduced to them again in Lunar Lakes, which isn't on necessarily a different timeline, it's in another planet. I decided to include this one last because that kind of matched up the most to me. So it basically talks about Christina, a scientist who is brilliant and self-centered, but what she's done is created clones of herself as children so she can have, quote, the perfect family. But what happened when she made all these clones is they're actual living, breathing, talking, sentient people with their own thoughts and opinions and not necessarily her. So the more that they're growing up, the more that they're drifting away from Christina and being the perfect family and just basically growing away from her. The whole plot with this family is whether Christina will be able to keep a family together or whether she'll be able to just accept that they are their own people and that they might be moving on with lives of their own as they grow older. So this one I actually found quite interesting because this doesn't follow the stereotypical dynamic of the Landgrab family. Usually the drama with the Landgrab family centres around land, evil, criminal things. Where this one is, it's still a little bit weird because it's the whole self-centred scientist with clones. It's more, Christina is a bit more self-centred and wants to keep the children, rather than Christina's a bit self-centred and thinks that she can steal the claim to making Sunset Valley when it was the Goths, like the earlier Landgrabs did. And then finally we have The Sims 4, which is on an alternate timeline, so take everything here with a pinch of salt. It's not necessarily correct, it's just alternate. I don't believe that these are like that on the actual timeline. So we get introduced to the same family from The Sims 3, Jeffrey, Nancy and Malcolm. There is quite a lot of differences though. They still live in a big massive mansion, but they live in a desert world now, which they didn't before. They've always typically lived in quite like lush suburban areas instead of like a suburban-y desert kind of thing. And one of the differences with the family is that Malcolm is now a teenager, but he seems to have changed a lot since The Sims 3. In The Sims 3 he was quite a lovable kid, didn't really get much attention from his mum, preferred his dad. He had the good trait, like he was just a nice kid, but now he's got the evil trait in The Sims 4, so something's amiss there. Nancy as well in The Sims 3, she was this hard-going, like, go-getting businesswoman. In The Sims 4, she's in the criminal career, which is like a pretty big change around, you know what I mean? Jeffrey as well, Jeffrey was a doctor in The Sims 3, and in The Sims 4, he is a secret agent, and that causes some tensions between Nancy and Jeffrey, because obviously she's a massive criminal, he's a secret agent, like that doesn't necessarily, that's not really a cohesive, healthy relationship. One's going to be like the other, one might clock the other, do you know what I mean? So that's not going to work. And they also harbour a little bit of a secret, so you may all know Johnny Zest. Well, Johnny Zest is actually a Landgrab going by a stage name, so we don't even know if Johnny Zest is his real name. It could be like Malcolm the Second, Landgrab the Fourth. No, names don't work like that. But he basically, Johnny might not even be his real name because he just goes by his stage name. And he was a Landgrab until he decided that he wanted to follow the comedy route. He wanted to be a stand-up comedian. This does not bode well for the Landgrabs. Like, this is not what they're known for. So he got kicked out of the family and he is now living in a trailer in Oasis Springs. God bless his soul. It's also unknown how he's even related to the Landgrabs. Like, we don't know if he's Jeffrey and Malcolm's daughter. No. Jeffrey and Nancy's daughter. We don't know if he's a cousin or anything like that. we don't know. So that is the full family history of the Landgrab family. I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I'll tell you what, I absolutely love making these videos. I really, really, really like them. So I'm really hoping that you do too. So thank you very, very much for watching this video. I will link the Bella Goth one at the end of the video as well, so you can go and watch that one if you haven't. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Comment down below what other families that you want me to do, because I, like 100%, I'm doing them. I absolutely love these videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.